Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. This is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All righty now. How we doing this Tuesday? It's the afternoon, second half of the evening. You know what time it is. Let's get it going. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080. There's that echo again. Anyway, whatever, no biggie. We've got a lot of stuff to get into today. I want to first start off by saying, what do you do when your source is flawed? Information is key. It is a commodity, an important one. But what happens when your source is flawed? We'll talk about that in a little bit. Because there's a duality sometimes. And when you have to deal with that duality, you got to deal with it full force, like right at it. You got to stare it right in the face and deal with it. So I'll be doing that today with a breaking story as it associates with, try this on for size, Los Fidel, Mimi's Law, and Charlie Kirk. They are all intertwined. We'll get into that later on in the program. Also, we have a guest today. I confirmed that none other than Joan Coe is going to join the program today. A feisty octogenarian, Joan Coe, is going to join the program. We'll talk to her about how she stood up for Elvira Saeed, a story that we were covering here immediately after it was released by Project Veritas about the passing of Elvira's daughter, a young lady who took her own life in New Jersey as she was attending college. In Elvira's story and how she was trying to get, or has been working to get the word out there about her daughter, about how her daughter and her family was affected by transgenderism, about coaching and grooming that took place in her daughter's life, and people have ignored it in mainstream media. And Elvira trying to get the word out to talk to people about that, to be called a bigot by elected officials. So we'll talk to Joan Coe and what she did at the Simsbury Board of Selectmen a couple of days ago, and how she was silenced and her free speech was put in jeopardy. We'll talk about that today. We'll have her here to talk about that as well. Stupidest thing I read today is about the book tour gone straight to hell. We'll get to that. And I'm sure we'll have some Hollywood news. Oh, and the New Haven NAACP will be introduced by yours truly, or introduced to yours truly, Reese on the radio. I don't think we've met New Haven NAACP, but we'll get to know each other today during the show. Apparently, you're going after Halloween, which is weird. Just weird, considering it's New Haven. I didn't hear any stories about the NAACP in New Haven talking about the crime. But apparently, Halloween is something we get a press release on. A lengthy, let me grab it here. Is it lengthy? It's relatively lengthy. Here it is, pretty lengthy, about Halloween decorations. I find that odd. But anyway, we'll get to it. That's what we do. I also understand that they also put out a press release about illegal immigration, NAACP. So we'll talk about all that and more. A little more with Tucker Sauls today. Your headlines as well. Let's get to the opening monologue. Real simple. I have one question to Connecticut Democrats because of two stories I saw this morning. And I've got to say to them, Connecticut Democrats, Rosa DeLauro, Who else? Jim Himes. Who else? Chris Murphy, Dick Blumenthal, Ned Lamont. You've got a choice. I'm trying to figure out which is it going to be. What are you going to choose? And I thought there was only one way to find out. We want to call this game show, Who's Gonna Starve? Or Who's Going to Get Health Care? Will the Democrats choose to open up the government so that Connecticut recipients of the SNAP program, 360,000 of them, get their food assistance? Or on November 1st, will they not be able to feed their children because the Democrats want to get health care for all? I'm just trying to figure it out. Which will it be? If you ask me, Democrats, I really do think, considering the No Kings rally on Saturday, I think deep down that you are going to choose health care over the hungry mouths of babes in the state of Connecticut. I think that's just my point of view. I think that you are going to make those poor people starve. Health care is the most important thing in the world, and the health care of illegals is even more important to you, isn't it? Isn't it? Because the only way people will get their SNAP benefits, if it doesn't come out of the pockets of Connecticut's coffers, you're going to have to open the government in order for them to get it. But if you open up the government, the rabble-rousers on the left will lose their minds because you caved and didn't get health care for all. So people are going to have to decide, I can get a Band-Aid or a Hostess Twinkie. One or the other. It's just got to be one or the other. I don't know. What are we talking about here? These are two stories, same day. One headline from the Connecticut Insider. Connecticut Dems not backing down amid shutdown. Quote, people are going to get killed if we pass that budget. That's a quote from Chris Murphy. People are going to get killed if we pass that CR. We have got to get that health care. If we don't get that health care, 50,000 people are going to die. That's what Bernie Sanders said on The Daily Show. Yeah, 50,000 people are going to die. But there were 360,000 people in the state of Connecticut who will not get their food stamps. Headline, Hartford Courant. 360,000 Connecticut residents get food stamps, while the government shutdown could take that away. So what's it going to be, boy? Little bit of meatloaf there. What's it going to be? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think Connecticut residents are going to blame Republicans in the all-blue state of Connecticut. I don't think so. Everybody knows. They all know. Even the drive-by media watchers, the drive-by news watchers know that it's Democrats who won't sign on to the clean CR. I'm sorry, the public relations game, you're not winning. It's literally split down the middle. And with everything that's going on, especially with the people who are concerned about getting their food stamps, trust me when I tell you, it's everywhere. People who are concerned about getting their food stamps, some of them are blaming Trump, but Trump is just going to throw that right back at you, and he's got better messaging than you do. Hey, all they have to do is sign that clean CR. Those checks are coming immediately. We'll get them there yesterday. Or I can move some money around, and I could do for you what I did for the military there, and make sure you guys get your benefits. but we're going to want something in return. I can move some money around. And how about this? I'll go one step further. Let's move some money around. Make sure you get your benefits. And then I ask you to watch the Democrats closely as they go to court to stop us from funding SNAP. And then you can ask, whose fault is it? Then we can say, hey, did Chris Murphy try to say that it was illegal for us to move some money around so that poor people can get their SNAP benefits? Hey, was that Jim Himes saying that it was probably illegal, like he did when they were talking about on CBS that we were going to move some money around so the military would get paid? Jim Himes, you said it. We all heard you. We all heard you. Who were they going to blame then? But I'll go one step further. Let's see. Was it just today we heard a story about how the Democrats cannot and will not sign on to the clean CR because they would be facing a political guillotine if they do? Was that you guys? Are you sure that it wasn't you guys? That the American people have to suffer because you want $1.5 trillion to be added on to a whole bunch of crazy boondoggles across the globe. You want to fund transgender mosquitoes in Timbuktu. Whatever it is that you guys are spending that money on, do you really, really think that the American people who just want their SNAP programs, and oh, by the way, did you hear what the average SNAP program is? Did you hear what the average is in Connecticut, the amount of money? Hold on, let me get that quote for you real quick, because it's actually, I thought it was astonishing. Damn, they are really, really disrespecting the people of Connecticut. And the reason why I say this, listen closely, because I'm going to throw the contrast at you. This is what the headline, or this is what one of the quotes say in the Hartford Courant article. The food shutdown would have an impact on grocery stores that could lose an estimated 5 to 10% of their business, as nearly 10% of all state residents currently receive food stamps. Benefits vary based on the size of a family, but the average monthly benefit per person is about $193 or around $50 a week. Contrast that, Mayor Elicker. Contrast that, Mayor Arunin. Contrast that, Rosa DeLauro, Jim Himes, and all of you screaming and hollering about how we need to make sure that we protect the illegals in here. How much money did they get on their EBTs? How much money did they receive? How much money was doled out to them? You're holding out on an average of $193. And this appears to be a quagmire for you folks. Again, two conflicting articles. What do we do? What do we save? Who do we help? Now, I know that the average citizen in Connecticut isn't paying any mind to that. The politically active are going to be the politically active. They're going to call their congressman or congresswoman, and they're going to scream and they're holler, and they're going to say what they do. But the most vulnerable, what do they do? Who's working for them? What I think is going to happen is this, and it's real simple, because I know every one of these folks. They are cookie cutter as they get. These guys are made in a factory, especially if they're Democrats. They will use the poor. Oh, they will use them. That's what they're worth. It's not about pawns. It's about the usefulness of poverty to blame the other folks. Look at these poor people We're trying to help them, but you won't let us. Over and over again, they'll repeat that while those folks continue to starve. I see them all hooking up with Connecticut Food Share, saying that we're going to need $200,000 to feed all of these folks. Or they can just open up the government. But they would rather grab all of these other tricks to make themselves appear, see, we care. We're not going to leave you out high and dry. We'll make sure that you get something. But can I tell you what the really ugly part of all of this is? And I bring it up every time. It's the really, really ugly root of all of this. Connecticut, with all of its wealth, one of the richest states in the Union, still has 360,000 people dependent on government instead of dependent on themselves, with that number growing over and over and over again. In a predominantly blue state, the poorest amongst them who definitely vote for them when they do, manage to be the most dependent. It's going to be hilarious to watch Senator Chris Murphy or Senator Dick Blumenthal to say to the all-blue residents of Connecticut that it's the Republicans' fault while they sit with no power. What'll be even laughable are the people who will chucklehead and go, yup, it's them Republicans, like a bunch of mind-numb robots. I think that's going to change. But we'll see. Who will win? Who will lose? Who will starve? I don't know. But I don't think this lasts very long. I hate the fact that it had to be run down to food stamps, but I think it's getting there. Other programs will follow. But I'm trying to figure out who they really think are the cruel ones here. I want every poor person to recognize something real simple. It was bad enough that we tried to warn you earlier in the year that they were choosing illegals over you, that they were fighting for illegals over you. Let me ask the black community a simple question. Has Rosa DeLaura ever fought for your family member or your family member's child when they were arrested for drug charges or any other misdemeanor or crimes when they got put away? Was anybody concerned about your school-age children the way that Rosa DeLauro was concerned about illegals who were at the Optimal Car Wash in New Haven's school-age children? Do you ever hear anybody screaming and hollering about police officers taking your family away? No. But Rosa DeLauro was writing letters to ICE. While you're fighting and struggling, these people who have no right to be here, elected members of Congress who don't even get their vote, allegedly, are fighting really hard for them, putting all their sweat equity into them, while you are concerned about whether or not you'll get $193 on November 1st. Something to think about. And we'll let you. We'll be back. More news, more views than you can shake a stick at. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080. You know, one of the things that I've never understood, and maybe somebody can explain it to me. You know, a lot of people use this term, and you could use it in almost anything. You know, if this was 50 years ago, you wouldn't have been allowed to do such and such. And I hear that a lot. You know, if this was back in the day, you know, the thing that you celebrate now, you wouldn't be able to do back then. And I'm trying to understand it because it's flawed in two very obvious ways. It's flawed, and it makes no sense. The dumbest argument ever. One, there's a degree of clairvoyance there. But what's worse than that is that it would also take time travel. And why is it relevant what used to be 50 years ago? I was not born in 1935. I don't have the luxury or the unfortunate of living in that time whenever this perceived action would have taken place on me. So it plays no role. Like, I need to look at those things in context to say, if this were then, you wouldn't be able, well, those days are over. And if you think that that is a justification for today, you're mistaken. Times change. And to give you an example of this, and I'm going to talk about this with the NAACP thing in New Haven. No kid today is thinking about what took place in 1925 or 1825. Now, how do I know this? Has anybody ever seen the videos of these kids, like in Times Square or any other place across the country, when they're asking high school students or college students basic stuff like when this war was, who was the War of 1812 against? Who fought in the Civil War? What country is Hawaii in? Have you ever seen these? How many of you have cringed watching that going, oh. What makes you think that any of these children or people today look at the world from the perspective that most of these people do? They don't. They don't. They have absolutely no attachment to it. But people keep trying to suggest that because they do, and even they don't, you don't have any attachment to it. What I'm trying to say here is it's dumb, it's silly, and it's also childish to always go back to what it would have been like if. That matters not. Today is what counts. What can happen today? The possibilities of today. And even then, we don't know. That's what this world is all about. And if anyone is that clairvoyant, just if you are, seriously, stop wasting my time about what would have happened in the 1950s. If you are that good and you are that clairvoyant, I need Powerball and Mega Millions numbers stat. Get on it. Other than that, seriously, I wouldn't trust you with telling me your birth date and getting it right, or what time of day you were born. I couldn't trust you with that. So please, stop trying to tell us what would have been if this had happened. Nobody knows. It's a dumb hypothetical. So just stay away from it. Stay away from it. If you're trying to prove your point with the Simsbury Board of Selectmen speech that she gave and how it ended up going off the rails, and everyone's talking about it in Connecticut. So we'll deal with that as well. In the opening monologue, I was talking about this problem between Democrats and their constituents, especially here in Connecticut. And the breakdown is this is how they laid it out. They said on one side is Democrats, including Senator Chris Murphy, Richard Blumenthal, Representatives Rosa DeLauro, Joanna Hayes, Jim Hines, and John Larson, and Joe Courtney, forgot about him, are unified in blocking the budget without concessions to reverse earlier cuts, such as failure to extend the Affordable Care Act subsidies, new restrictions on Medicaid eligibility. They argue the Republican plan would throw millions of health coverage off of health coverage nationwide. Senator Murphy bluntly stating that people are going to get killed if we pass that budget. And they say on the other side, the shutdown's ripple effects are hitting Connecticut's most vulnerable the hardest through a potential cutoff of SNAP food stamps benefits, which support about 360,000 residents. That's nearly 10% of the state's population, including over a third in Hartford alone, and significant shares in cities like Bridgeport and New Haven. If the shutdown persists, federal funds for November's benefits, averaging about $193 per person monthly, won't replenish EBT cards starting on November 1st, leaving families without grocery aid and grocers with broader economic fallout. So I don't understand why they won't just give in and have that other debate later. Because let's think about this. The midterms are coming up in a year, just over it. And if the Republicans screw up the ACA or health care for all, I mean, if they end up on the wrong side of that debate politically, it is something that Democrats can run on, and they have an entire year to do it. But other people don't have to suffer. Nobody has to suffer. Especially the people who are dependent on government. Someone was talking about this. Gosh, I wish I could remember who it was. It'll come to me, and I'll even find the audio to support it. Was saying that one of the things that the Democrats love is that they have poor people right in the palm of their hands by having them live in poverty and crime. And one of the arguments that has been made about Donald Trump going into places like Memphis, going into Portland, going into LA, going into Chicago. He's already gone into D.C. What they are fearful of is if Donald Trump goes into those towns and he cleans them up and it's safe for kids to be outside in the inner city in what are considered Democrat strongholds, and they look at the contrast of bullets flying. St. Louis, just the other day, a young man named Joan doing his homework. No, sorry, he was playing video games just after he'd done his homework. His mother told him he could go play video games after he'd done his homework. He's sitting in his home. Joan is shot by a stray bullet in St. Louis. Now imagine you are a young inner city kid. Doesn't matter your race. You're an inner city kid. Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, doesn't matter. And the Democrats have been telling you over and over again, crime is down, crime is down. And then Donald Trump comes in and says crime isn't down. It's a cesspool. It's dangerous. People can't go outside. The kids are forced to sleep on the floor. They've got to do their homework in the bathtub, hoping that they don't get shot by a stray bullet. And then Donald Trump comes in and he cleans the whole place up. People are out in restaurants. Folks feel safe. Kids are out playing. And then everybody goes, wait a minute. You mean to tell me that it could have been fixed all of this time? And the people I've been voting for did nothing? And then this guy, the orange man bad, comes in and cleans it up? Then there'd be no excuse, because those same people would say, wait a minute, man, you told me that you could fix this. And this guy comes in, he isn't even in a year, and it's over. I've dealt with this for years. I've lost 2, 3, 4 kids to the streets. This guy comes in a year, and he cleans all of this mess up. Oh, man, I'm done with you people. And that's what they're afraid of. And that's something I've been saying for a hell of a lot of time. Funding programs of hundreds of millions of dollars going into some cities. Crime prevention, gang prevention, all of that good stuff. Everybody lining their pockets. Gang activity grows. And no one asked the question, wait a minute, man, we gave you $3 million to curb gun violence in your community and more people died. Yeah, we're going to need more money. Yeah, that $3 million, we thought that was going to be a good investment. We're going to need 5. Can we get 5? I promise you we will work this time around. And they never do. The objective is to keep the money flowing. It's not about solving the problem. It never has been. And that's, according to this guy, and I tend to agree, that's the reason why they're fearful. If Donald Trump solves it against the wishes of the people who need those poor people, need those folks who are living in violence, they need them to continue to live that way. so they can constantly go to them every 2 years or every 4 years and say, I'll help. Leave it to me. I've got your back. And if Donald Trump walks in there with those folks believing he's a racist, he's a bigot, he hates them and never cared a damn thing about them, and goes in and makes their lives safer, talk about a wake-up. Wait a minute. I thought you said the orange guy hates me. He came in here and he cleaned up the hood. Wait a minute. I've been lied to. That's all I care about. So I don't know. Like I said, it's going to be a decision. What's it going to be, folks? What's it going to be, Democrats? Food stamps or health care? I think we know the answer. We'll take a break. We've got headlines coming up, and we've got weather and traffic as well when we return. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
You know, I saw something that actually blew my mind. Do you know that now State Senator Julie Kushner is ensnared in this wishing death on the President of the United States, along with Dr. Anwar? Like, the list of people keeps growing. And I got a text message today, which I thought was funny. Because maybe you didn't hear me when I said it before. What was it? Yeah, here it is. It says, I hope you're listening to the news on your station. The man who was sentenced to 21 months but was pardoned by Trump has now been arrested on Monday for plotting to kill Hakeem Jeffries. And what am I supposed to say about that? Do you want a response from me? Do you want my outrage? No. Maybe you missed the program yesterday. So what? But I don't care. You can't get a response from me, and I don't think that anybody should respond ever again. He got caught, he got arrested, he'll do his time. But don't ask me for any quotes. Connecticut Democrats stand by Senator Anwar. And I'm sure they'll stand by Julie Kushner. Don't ask us for anything. Don't take it. We don't care. We've got no words for any of this. We asked. We were kind. I said this to you over and over again yesterday's show. Condemn it. That's all. Just condemn it. It takes nothing to say, hey, man, I apologize. Hey, you know what? In the heat of the moment, I thought it was funny. It apparently isn't. Take the L. I'm an elected official. I clearly run a district that may have Trump supporters there, and this may have been offensive to them. And as that person who represents those individuals, I should show some consideration for those people and say was in poor taste. Right? Just do that. No one's asking him to be sent to prison. No one's asking him, well, I know some people out there have been saying he should lose his license. That may be a bridge too far. But I think we should give the guy some grace. But all he has to do is apologize. It's not like he actually plotted against the president. But if people think that this is a joke, and they can't show any degree of humility by just saying, yeah, you know what, this has been getting a little out of hand. As a leader, I should do better. My biggest problem is that the rhetoric has gotten too bad or too high and too hot. Let me lead by example. Instead, you guys said, nah, we're good. Don't call me, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Don't call me. I will not be responding to the whataboutism. I don't care. And I truly don't. Don't ask me to. And I stand on that. I stand firmly on that. People have an opportunity to do the right thing. And even Oakley Dokley had the decency to say, yeah, you know what, that probably wasn't wise. I'm sure he didn't really mean it, but you know what, he should apologize. And that's it. Just apologize and we move on. Nope. You doubled down. Cool. We're done. So what you should be doing, and I think this is important. You want a response from me? You first. You want a response from me? How about calling Senator Anwar? How about calling Senator Kirshner? How about calling them up and demanding they apologize? And then get back at me. Hey, man, we got them to apologize. Will you condemn this? Absolutely. But you first. Again, I wouldn't ask you, I say it every day, would not ask you to do something I wouldn't do myself. So instead of saying that I condone the behavior of this individual as it pertains to Hakeem Jeffries, I say nothing, which again is exactly what Kirshner and Anwar could have done in all of this. They could have protested no kings. They could have said democracy is at risk. But beyond the pale is to wish death on a guy. And they know it. And Connecticut Democrats said, it's a joke. It's a joke. What are you, bent out of shape, Republicans? Creating more partisanship than ever on it. And then having the audacity, you people, to come over here and say, Reese, do you hear about what this so? Did you hear about the school teacher who was at the protest mocking the shooting death of Charlie Kirk, who has now lost her job? I didn't hear you posting about that. In fact, you didn't text me about that either. Yeah, Reese, did you see this? How awful of this woman. She teaches children. Not a word from you. So I spit on.
I don't know what Democrats are looking for.
What is that?
But if they're looking for Republicans to give in to their hostage-taking, they should think.
I don't know what that was. Okay.
My fault, sorry.
That's okay. It's all right, Dave. Dave is ready to go. He's like, get off the air. I think it's time for us to go anyway. Good cue, Dave. So that's my point. Nope, you first. So until you start filling up my text messages with, hey, I condemn anybody who wished the death on Charlie Kirk or wished the death on the President of the United States, you'll get nothing from me. So please don't bore me or bug me. Now let's get to the newsroom with Dave Mager. And for John Silver, it's Reese on the radio.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
All right, let's get to some headlines. It looks like 2 of the 8 people who were detained by ICE agents at the Dixwell Avenue car wash location, the Optimal Car Wash, have now been released. New Haven's congresswoman has sent a letter to ICE demanding answers as to why agents acted with such force. As I was saying earlier, that letter was by Rosa DeLauro, who was asking them, what was the big deal? Why did they have to come in there and scare all those folks? Which I thought was rather interesting, that she wrote a letter to ICE about people being separated from their children, when I've never seen a congressperson ever say that about regular old Americans being dragged away from their school-aged children. It just didn't make any sense to me. Also, in New Haven, they've joined a 3rd lawsuit against the Trump administration on Monday, challenging new federal policy that withholds security dollars from cities serving undocumented immigrants or operating equity programs. The city is joining 8 municipalities, including Chicago, Boston, New York City, Baltimore, Denver, Minneapolis, St. Paul, and Minnesota's Ramsey County. The city of Chicago et al. Christy Nomes filed in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Illinois' Eastern Division. The cities and counties are collectively disputing the legality of a new set of terms and conditions that the Trump administration has placed on Department of Homeland Security grants. The terms of the grant broadly prohibit city from operating a diversity, equity, and inclusion-oriented program and from including undocumented immigrants on city services. So this is something that people fail to recognize. So if you are a local government who is actively stopping ICE from engaging, getting people off the street who don't belong in that city, and then you want Department of Homeland Security funds, when you are not contributing to Homeland Security? Like, I don't get it. I don't expect the lawsuit to go really far, and I think it's just to plug up the works, if you will, against the Trump administration. But I'm just looking at this, from my law and order degree, 12 years at that university. I'm just saying from that point, like, why would you expect funding from the Department of Homeland Security? Why would you believe that you deserve a grant when you are thwarting the efforts of the Department of Homeland Security, which seems odd to me, but there we are. Also, the White House, you may have heard this rumor, but the White House has actually struck back against some fake news reporting from TMZ, of all places, that have alleged that President Donald Trump is seriously considering commuting the prison sentence of rap mogul Sean P. Diddy Combs. According to TMZ, on October 20th, they said a high-ranking White House official claimed that Trump was vacillating and could sign a commuting order for Combs' 50-month sentence as early as this week. But the White House rejected the claims outright. TMZ reported, according to a source, the president is vacillating on a commutation. But anyway, White House spokesman said that TMZ's story is entirely false and accused the outlet of circumventing standard procedures in reporting. So that may definitely not happen. It would be, I'm telling you, I don't even know what the left would do if that would actually take place. Let's go to the stupidest thing I read today.
Yes, you do. Stupid as can be.
This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
Karrine Jean-Pierre, you should not be surprised. This has got to be the stupidest book tour I've ever seen in my entire life. After everything that we endured, 4 years of Joe Biden, cognitive decline, and I'm not even adding the original Sin book by Jake Tapper and Alex Bernstein. It holds no weight in the discussion of whether or not Joe Biden was in cognitive decline, and any evidence that would be presented by the book Independent by Karrine Jean-Pierre is to be dismissed. But I still can't believe that she's out there peddling this. Here's two examples from two different shows where she is repeating the same nonsense as if she is on a script and can't seem to get out of it.
People said, why didn't members of his inner circle speak up about what many believe was the apparent decline of Joe Biden? You said, you're a member of the inner circle and you never saw the decline. And after that, I wrote, how? Yeah. You even write, Karrine, that you were on the plane with him going to the debate and you didn't see anything.
Now, there's one thing to recognize when it comes to Karrine Jean-Pierre, is that she takes this very seriously, this question.
So really, I want everybody to know that I take this question incredibly seriously. I do.
It seemed like a dramatically different person. And at 81 years old, that's not entirely unexpected. You can imagine why people got so worried.
So, a couple of things. I got to see Joe Biden almost every day. And this is a question that I take very seriously.
And I don't know what that's supposed to mean, that she keeps taking it seriously. Like, I'm not sure what that's like. So, okay, you take it seriously. So do we. We take it seriously that the president of the United States was incapacitated. Like, what are you not getting? She went on.
No one has ever said he hasn't aged. No one ever said that. We've always said, we're not going to say, oh, he didn't age. He aged. And he poked fun at it. We always owned up. And with age comes what happens when you get older.
Which is?
No one has ever said he hasn't aged. No one ever said that. He would make jokes about it. He would acknowledge it. And he would say, yes, I know I don't speak this as well as I used to. I don't walk as well as I used to. No one is saying that he didn't age. I'm talking about, did he have the question that I was getting, the mental acuity? Was he able to govern? And the man that I saw nearly every day was some.
You see the one lone clapper in the back? Clearly the first person to buy the book. That's lone clapper.
who was engaging, understood policy, and was always putting the American people first.
Yes, he was always putting the American people first. Of course he was. What a great individual he was. Like, I guess whatever we saw, we didn't see because Karrine Jean-Pierre was right there. But she said something far worse. What she said far worse, and this is interesting. Her book is called Independent, and she's saying that we need an independent party. I think Karrine Jean-Pierre has gone way left. Because, like I told you folks yesterday, I went to the No Kings rally, and Karrine Jean-Pierre, when she spoke to these outlets, boy, did she sound like some of those folks there who were socialists. Listen closely.
We should not, what we're seeing and what I hear from people, not just me, they feel as if the Democratic Party is acting as it is normal times, and they are relinquishing their power.
Will you create a new party? Is that what you're angling
No, so I actually talk about this in the book, and it's very nuanced. I'm very much aligned with the values of the Democratic Party.
So with a socialist.
And I understand what it means to have a third-party system and how that can, I talk about the history of third-party candidates and
they usually fail.
Presidential. What I am saying is I want to start a conversation. And I feel like I am now a private citizen, and I have the ability to do that. And if I could be from the outside pushing and saying, hey, this two-party system isn't working, there are millions of people, not just me, millions of people who are part of the independent party who feel like they're not seen. And younger people are becoming independents.
Yeah, I don't think she knows what she's talking about at all. But the independent party already exists. And independent candidates already join campaigns. They already start campaigns. They do join presidential races. Bobby Kennedy, anybody? So I don't know what Karrine Jean-Pierre is talking about, but did we ever? Did we ever? But I really do believe that this book tour is going to get worse and worse. I think it's going to take away, thank goodness. Well, maybe not. It might be worse than Kamala Harris's book tour, because both of those things are train wrecks. They kind of represent the status quo, and it's sad that both of them are women of color who are dragging the Democrat Party down with their books to the point where they're showing up at events and people are shouting them down. People are, curling their eyes like, what? What is going on? It's actually kind of sad. Frankie, baby, what's going on, sir?
Well, to answer your question, I'll take the 20.
You'll take what?
I'll take the 20.
You'll take the Twinkie over the healthcare.
I don't think you're surprised by that.
Not at all, sir.
There's no way this shutdown will go past November 1st. They're not going to allow them enough to get their food stamps.
Yeah.
So how about WIC?
Yeah. The WIC thing has kind of already been handled because first Connecticut said that they were going to take care of it, but then literally simultaneously the Trump administration moved money around to make sure that each state was funded. So they're going to get paid back whatever Connecticut pays. But you're right about the SNAP program. I don't think that you can't have both of those things happen. The WIC situation and then the food stamp situation, because the most vulnerable people, whether or not they vote or not, the optics look bad. And that's where I think that you're right. It's a matter of, what do we got, like a week left? Just a little more than a week?
Yeah. Just more. November 1st, I think it's on Saturdays, and I don't have a calendar in front of me. There are two other things I want to talk about. One, I know, gold, you don't have to call my house. We're getting killed today. It's called profit taking. It's the biggest one-day loss in 12 years. What can you do?
Wait a minute, hold on, Frank, hold on, because for some odd reason you're breaking up, and I heard you say part of it, but I want to make sure I got it right, because if I can't hear it, I know they can. Say it one more time.
Okay. Gold today is having the biggest sell-off for 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's down over $235. It happens. It's called profit taking. So that means it's a great opportunity to buy. And silver, you should be buying silver. And the last thing, I got this copy of this book last night. If you think the Epstein case is closed, you're wrong. The name of this book is Nobody's Daughter. And I was reading a little bit this morning.
Are you talking about the Virginia Guthrie book?
Right. It's a disgrace.
Yeah. You know what? I know something about that book, and you know what? I'm just going to have to play the audio. There's an interesting part about that book that people are kind of ignoring, and I'm going to get into that because I've been avoiding playing it because people get mad at me whenever you talk about this, and they think that they immediately say, oh, you're trying to cover. I'm like, I have no interest in covering up for anyone. I just want to get what the facts are. And this guy did the reporting, not me. I'm just doing what I do. But thank you, Frank. For some odd reason, you're breaking up a lot, man, but thank you. When we come back, the next half hour, blaming homeschooling for Mimi's death. That has got to be addressed. And it ties into the story with Fidel and Charlie Kirk and just how much this has gone off the rails in a week. And a little bit more than a week now, but it has just gone off the rails. And the Connecticut Sentinel did some reporting, some very extensive reporting, and it is incredible. I've gone through it. As you know, Lost Fidel was on the show because he had some inside information that was coming from family members that he provided for us. And sure enough, everything he provided ended up in every bit of reporting from WTNH to WFSB and everywhere else. But Los Fidel's got let's just say he's drawn the ire of some folks behind this Mimi's Law deal. And that's got to be addressed. So stand by for that. Also, Joan Coe is going to join the program to talk about Elvira Said and the Simsbury Board of Selectors and that town hall or that city meeting or whatever it was and how that thing went off the rails. We'll talk to her about all of that and as it pertains to Tucker Sauls and all of that as well. The NAACP, that's an important thing to remember. The NAACP of New Haven going after Halloween decorations. And it's not just any Halloween decorations. It is Halloween decorations that have been lauded and celebrated in Hamden. So we want to talk about that. That's exactly where it was. If you haven't heard the story, look it up. It's there. It's been some minor reporting about it, but the NAACP released a statement about it. I was going to call them and get it on, but you know how get them on. You know how reluctant they are to come on this program. So that won't happen. But we'll talk about it nonetheless. Plus your phone calls at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Also, we'll read some of the stuff in the chat room by those who are opining about some of the subject matter that's going on today. Jesse writes in the chat room, by the way, what are the Kushner comments? So Miss Kushner, or Senator Kushner, what she did, it wasn't her comments, is that she took a photograph of individuals at the No Kings Parade locally in the state. And in the photograph, one of the women pictured that she intentionally took a picture of is holding a sign that says 8647. That is not a mystery what it means. Everyone knows what it means. And this, again, aligns itself with what Connecticut Democrats have said and other Democrats have said, that James Comey didn't mean anything by it. 86 means get rid of, but not in the way that Republicans are trying to suggest it. Republicans are pouncing on the term 86, thinking that it means. So instead of just condemning it, now people are doubling down. And as a state senator posting that picture, as did Dr. Anwar, Senator Anwar, it goes to exactly where Democrats are in this debate. And that is, as long as it's a joke in their view, the rest of us can stop clutching our pearls. And this is how they joke. This is how Democrats have fun. This is what they chuckle about. It's about the death and the demise of the President of the United States that they lost to a group of people, working class folks, African Americans and Latinos, who rejected them. And how they respond to that is, instead of getting serious and getting down to the business of governing, government shutdown, anyone? and actually winning those folks back by actually proving that their ideas, although they lost on them last time, they've thought about it, they've redirected who they are, moved some stuff around, maybe some furniture, thought about working on the optics, maybe messaging a little bit to those people that they lost, men in particular, some of the white folks that they also ignored or maligned for a good, 14 years, and said to them, here is what our plans are for 2026, or hell, 2028. They could have done any of that. Instead, they doubled down on cholesterol, do your job, and 8647. None of the things that I just mentioned are important enough to them, to what they stand behind, what they double down on. If you really look at it, they're doubling down on there's no violence in those inner cities. Violence is down. Men can play in women's sports. I don't see what the problem is. I think we should leave it to municipalities to make a decision on their own. I don't have an opinion. These are the things that they double down on. It's just a joke to talk about the death of the president. Don't you get it? What, are you not savvy enough to understand a joke? Joking about death, people do it all the time. And the worst part of it is that guys like Chris Murphy, who I know I'm picking on in this regard, but remember what he said immediately after. Days, in fact. He said that this White House is going to use the death of Charlie Kirk to squash dissent and free speech. And if we're to understand what he means by that is joking about one's murder or joking about one's death. That's what Donald Trump is trying to put a stop to. Decorum. He's trying to enforce decorum from elected officials to behave like their constituents might be on the other side of the aisle. When Chris Murphy's saying, nope, not us. As our Connecticut Democrats, God bless them, that's the line in the sand for them. You're not going to go after our joke. So, double down, folks. We hear you loud and clear. We'll take a break. We'll be back. More news, more views. And weather and traffic coming up soon. It's Reese on the radio.
Hey, did you hear? It's our birthday, 100 years. Did you happen to get us a present?
Working on it. I'm almost there. I'm your president. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080. So it was last week, I believe. I get this link on, well, at least it just shows up on my feed, because I had been covering the story of Mimi Torres, the young woman that we've all come to know after her untimely death by her parents. Well, you know, her mother and her mother's boyfriend and her aunt. And we've learned so many details about this death, this killing, this absolute injustice for this 12-year-old girl. And I get this thing on my Facebook feed for this guy, and I notice he's covering the story, and he's got these very elaborate stories about things that are going on behind the scenes. So I see that, I reach out to him, send him a message online, and he gets back to me. And I asked him immediately, hey, can you come on real quick? I need to talk to you about some of these things that you're posting about, apparently coming from family members. And I had corroborated a lot of it beforehand, but I made it very clear. Look, these are speculative at best, but I want to talk about some of those things that he was learning or he was being told by family members of Mimi or Carla, her mother, or the aunt or anyone else for that matter. And sure enough, the stuff and the information he was gathering, in fact, we didn't even post this, but someone at the police department had leaked a portion of the notes that the detective gathered at the New Britain Police Department about Mimi's death. That, according to the report, came from the aunt or the mother. We couldn't substantiate who it was. But in the report, and I have it here, I have absolute proof of it, with a timestamp and everything, that said 2 details that turned out to be factual. And that was why I knew I could trust the source. And it was that Mimi was tied with twist ties, what are those darn ties called?
Zip ties.
Zip ties, thank you. Why was the word escaping me? Zip ties. And that she was made to sleep on wee-wee pads that you'd normally put down for the dog. And that there was a photograph of it. Now, we held on to it because we got it over the weekend. I sent it over to Mark in West Hartford, asked him to see if he could authenticate it, talk to a couple of people that he knows. You know, he's the man with the plan. But we said, let's hold off. Let's not post this yet. Let's make sure that we know this before we post it. We have to be responsible. Well, it didn't take 24 hours. The story was out by Sunday. Without us even posting it, it was there. Sure enough, those details and the detective who communicated, all of it corroborated. So it was valid. So in continuing to talk to Los Fidel, we found out that he wanted to get Mimi's law established. And the details at that time were, for me, were very vague. I don't know what it's for, how it's supposed to protect them. But I was protect other children like Mimi, but I didn't read any of the details, so it wasn't forwarded to me. And from what Los Fidel had made, I guess, available to me, was that it hadn't been well thought out yet. Well, sure enough, now we know. And the story is now suggesting that there need to be more guidelines on homeschooling as a result. Now, again, I'm going to start this by saying I don't think that Los Fidel is savvy enough to have thought this out. I think he saw a need for something and in a very half-ass way thought that the homeschooling issue, which was what was already being painted as a narrative, he glommed onto. But I can't be certain. I'm just saying because this wasn't thought out of. That's the theme that's in the news media. Attach Mimi's law to it. And when I heard this thing about Mimi's law and I heard about how people were associating it with homeschooling because the mother had removed the child from the school saying that she would homeschool them, for anybody to suggest that that now puts homeschooling under the microscope, it would be like putting a microscope on the bank because bank robbers targeted it for money. It makes no sense. Homeschooling was used as a ruse. That's it. DCF is the problem here. That's it. DCF is the problem here. If DCF wasn't involved, and the school was the only place that was involved, if the mother was on the up and up and she had been a standout parent from beginning to end, and then out of nowhere, inexplicably, a 12-year-old girl ends up malnourished and dead, then you can blame anything you want to. You can speculate all over the place. But we know where the ball was dropped. And this despicable display by a lot of people who know better. I get the agenda. I get the problem. I know deep down that the school system has lost a lot of credibility, not just in the state of Connecticut, but all over the country. That no one can trust the Board of Ed, educators, the teachers union. Right now, everything about them is mud. And parents can't take it anymore. And they're taking the kids' education into their own hands because the school system is failing them. And every year, no matter how much money they throw at it, it gets worse. It gets worse. It never gets better. And it's not even the parents who have kids who really want to learn. It's the fact that these parents have kids who want to learn who can't because the attention goes to kids who do not learn. or have a hard time learning, and their kids get left by the wayside. So instead of complaining about it, instead of protesting, walking back and forth in front of the school, demanding more, they took the bull by the horns and they self-educated. They said, that's it, baby. We're going home. Mommy and daddy are going to teach you. And it won't be under that funny business that's going on in the libraries either. And what did the teachers union and the education system do overall? They panicked. Holy crap, people are leaving us. Holy crap, we've been found out due to the COVID virus what we're teaching our kids. Parents said, hell no, we won't go. And then a story like this comes on, and then the myths start a-rubbing. Yes, homeschooling. We'll blame them. Think about that, folks. Think about the argument against homeschooling in the two most recent cases. One was a child who was never homeschooled, taken out of school, and died a month later. Yeah, out of school in August, dead by September. No homeschooling ever applied. The other case, a 32-year-old male who had to set fire to his home to be rescued. And you yahoos went to homeschooling? That was your direction? In all of that? That was the first place that you went, and you didn't think any of us would notice? Did you think that none of us would say, oh, that's peculiar? You thought we'd go along and get along? Listen, let me say this to all the women out there and all the parents out there who are homeschooling, because I'm saying women because mothers primarily do this. I told you before, and if you missed it, then I'll say it again. We got your back. Take it from a high school dropout who always hated school. Always. Who in his entire career, from the time I went to school to the 10th grade, I had 2 conservative teachers. Just 2. In the 3rd grade, in my last year of high school, he was the man who taught me, literally taught me to think critically. Those are the only people who I ever experienced. But now, you've got to take education into your own hands. They're failing your kids. And we got your back here. We've got your back here. As much as they try to spin this in this direction, where it's, if you homeschool your kids, we need to go through all of these hoops. It's very easy for you to just take your kid out of school. We've got to find a way to stop that. Then we got to see if we can control the curricula. Then we got to see if we can control the parents. Because if we don't have the kids, we've got nothing. You don't deserve anything. You had the kids for a long time, and you squandered it. Our kids are the last in anything in the world. You have not earned your right to educate American children anymore. And now that there's an option, people are taking it. Now there's competition. Deal. Take the L. Now, as far as the Los Fidel situation is, Fidel's got a past. Fidel's got a checkered past. And maybe, and I won't speak for him, maybe he thought he was doing something good. Maybe he was. Maybe he was under the impression that this would be an opportunity for him to redeem himself. It could have been, until he posted what he posted about Charlie Kirk. And I'm a man of my word, and I have integrity. And I'm sorry, buddy, that's unforgivable in my book. As I stated about Julie Kushner and Dr. Saud Anwar, you cannot mock the death of a man. You cannot mock anybody's murder. And telling people to F off or calling them a B word in the process while people are mourning the unnecessary murder of a man, and you mock that and belittle it and disrespect it, we can't do that here. So I can't support you. I can't. And you're going to have to find a way to redeem yourself. So contact the folks over at Connecticut Sentinel. Apologize. Find a way to redeem yourself. You can. I'm not going to sit here and judge you, but I'll definitely tell you that Charlie Kirk thing that I saw in the Connecticut Sentinel, that won't fly here. You want to do something good for Mimi? You can start there. Okay? That's all I'll say in the matter. When we come back, we'll get to a couple of your phone calls. We'll talk about some other stuff as well. And don't forget, we got Joan Coe. She's joining the show to talk about Simsbury and what happened to her there. So stand by. More news, more views than you can shake a stick at. It's Reese on the radio.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Let me get a real quick call in real quick. Joe, 2 days in a row? What's going on with you?
I'm looking forward to the Joan Coe call. That's a tongue twister, Joan Coe call.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, she's a lot of fun. I saw her this summer. Last time I saw her, I see her pretty regularly. She was driving around town in her convertible at 88 years old. So,
God bless her.
I think people will enjoy her, and I'm very glad that she's been fighting the good fight, not just against politicians in general that are not doing the right things, regardless of party in this town. So I want to give her some applause in advance. But I wanted to mention something about homeschooling.
Yes.
So this is an example. I was not able because I was away. Last I heard, I think you were going to have someone on from the CIAC to talk about the Windsor thing.
Yes.
So in the state of Connecticut, you want to talk about something that I think is pretty disgusting, is that you're a parent and you have a child who is extremely athletic, yet the school that you're in is garbage, or they're teaching all kinds of stuff you don't want them to know. So you make the decision as a parent that I'm going to homeschool my child.
Right.
And let's say that your child not only is athletic, but is highly, highly intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
Under the CIAC rules in the state of Connecticut, your child is not allowed to play sports for the local high school in the town that you pay taxes in. I find that absolutely disgusting. I could see if they wanted to make sure that the child was academically qualified, but they are basically trying to make sure that kids who are athletic do not have an opportunity to play high school sports in the state of Connecticut.
So you mean that, okay, so in essence, so let's say I live in, I live in Bristol.
Farmington.
Okay, Farmington. Okay. All right, so I live in Farmington, but I want my kid to play athletics in another town or in my own town?
No, in your own town.
Holy moly.
Farmington High School is a CIAC member school.
Okay.
And your homeschool child cannot play. So let me give people an example of where this has come in. I'm going to give a name that I'm sure most people will know exactly who they are. Tim Tebow.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Tim Tebow in the state of Florida was outstanding high school football player, Heisman Trophy winner.
Yep.
He was homeschooled, and he was allowed to play football for his local high school. But the state of Connecticut, in their communist ways, if we can't control the child is not going to achieve what they might be capable of achieving.
That's incredible.
So I just wanted to bring that up because you were talking homeschool.
Well, you know what? Listen, the executive director was on the show. We did have him on. According to you, I think you must have missed it. But I've got his personal number. I'd love to talk to him about that because if that's something that they can address, they should. But that's a good point. Tim Tebow's, not only was he homeschooled, he was homeschooled in like the Philippines in many cases because they have a mission out there. I know he was this guy's a world traveler, homeschooled, and I love Timbo. Tim Tebow. We have the same birthday. I'm a big fan of Tebow. Big fan of his. Wow. I need to ask about that.
Failure. I would not. I understand if they were to have a rule where it said they've got to academically pass a certain test. I would totally agree with that. But in the case of someone who would pass that test, just because, and let's say that the parents decided that their child was being bullied.
Yeah.
And that was the reason. And now their child is a tennis player or a baseball player or whatever.
Yeah.
And not play for the local high school that you're paying property taxes for.
Yeah.
It's criminal to me.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. You know what? I'm going to reach out to him today. That's such a good point. They shouldn't allow that anywhere, because if they do it in other places, they should do it here. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
You got it. All right, let's get our first check of weather and traffic. And if I checked, I think Scott Holman's got weather today, and Mark Christopher is in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Savory, flavory, bagel, deli, and bakery. Between rounds, between rounds.
And today's winner of a dozen bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe in South Windsor, Vernon, and Manchester, goes to Diane S. in Windsor. And if you would like an opportunity to win, you got to go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. Enter as many times as you like. We will send you an email telling you exactly what to look for. You got to be certain that you're looking where it explains it in the email where to look. Make sure you look out for it. Don't delete it thinking that it's spam. It'll probably be in your spam folder when you get the alert after it's entered. I think like 3 people so far have contacted me about not receiving an email. We're working on trying to help those folks out, but you got to be very, cautious about exactly, sometimes people have a filter on their or a feature on their emails that get rid of spam like every so often. So if you have something like that, be mindful that it's probably going to end up in your spam folder. When we come back, we're going to speak to Joan Coe of Simsbury. We'll talk to her about what took place at the Board of Selectmen and break that down for you from her mouth. And, I'll explain why Joan Coe and Wendy from Newtown, why I'm featuring average folks in the neighborhood who become part of these news stories when we return. So stand by for that, because what we're trying to do here, at least on Reese on the radio, is something I think has never been done before in a, let's say, positive way. We'll talk about that. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. We've got Scott Holman with weather and Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading on the eastbound side of I-84, you've got an accident in Farmington 84 East between 37 and exit 39. So you're going to see some delays there back to 37 behind that Finneman Road. Stay to the right, left lane blocked. After that, slow traffic again as you move 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. Westbound 84 is tied up, approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 44 Prospect Oakwood. Southbound 91 delays in Windsor, 37 down to 36. Again, 33 down to 32 A and B. More slow traffic, 23 down to 22 in the Route 9 interchange. Northbound 91's losing some speed up by 21 in Cromwell. After that, a good ride into Hartford. 291, 384 looking good east of the river. 2 eastbound's okay, Glastonbury into Marlboro. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 westbound Waterbury slows 25A up to the Mixmaster. Southbound on the Parkway, look for slow traffic now as you move down from exit 50 down into the West Rock Tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Rest of this afternoon, abundant sunshine, a nice day, a high 67. Lots of clouds, couple of showers tonight, and then occasional rain and drizzle later on, low 53. Breezy tomorrow, a shower early on, then a mixture of clouds and sunshine in the afternoon, high 64. Clear tomorrow night, low 44, then breezy, cool on Thursday with some sun and a high of 59. Right now it's 62 in Marlboro, 67 in Berlin, and 68 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Scott Holman in the WTIC Weather Center.
Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We know that you want the best for your child. That's why you can trust our expert pediatric dentists here at Columbia Dental, who are trained to meet and handle your child's unique dental needs. Call Columbia Dental at 860-645-0111.
Get more than you expect with McValue at McDonald's. Enjoy the little spicy of your hot and spicy McChicken meal deal for only $5 or the McDouble meal deal for only $6. Price participation may vary.
The Peter L. Brown Company is known for quality vinyl siding. Our price includes all labor and materials to complete your job, unlike some companies that offer low-cost vinyl siding but have hidden charges. For quality vinyl siding, the Peter L. Brown Company is your best choice. Let us show you the difference a beautifully installed Peter L. Brown siding job can make. Please visit peterlbrown.com for roofing, siding, windows, and doors.
Peter L. Brown, we do it right the first time.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected.
Here we go.
ETHOS, ethos.com/life.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we're back. We're going to we'll be joined by Joan Coe in a second. Because of yesterday's story, we talked about a young man who is very active in the community of Simsbury, and that is Tucker Sauls. And I've got this breakdown, Simsbury Democratic Town Committee. I want to read this to you before we get to Joan on the line. He writes, "Why I love Simsbury. I have lived in Tariffville since I was 6 years old. I currently live in the duplex that my grandmother bought as a young man and where my father grew up. I went to Tariffville Elementary, Henry James Middle School, and Simsbury High School. When I left home for college and subsequently traveled for work for the National Guard, I realized just how special Simsbury is. This town is a community that produces excellence. Simsbury provides the safety, security, resources, and education necessary to allow people to thrive and achieve greatness. It is no wonder that this is considered such a desirable place to live. And it is equally unsurprising that our population continues to grow. I sometimes struggle to articulate what specifically makes Simsbury so great. It is our gorgeous farmland, our thriving downtown, our schools, our historic buildings. What I have come to understand is that there is no one aspect of Simsbury that defines it. What makes us special is that no matter what you want to do or who you want to be, Simsbury has something or someone to help you succeed," Tucker wrote. So imagine being called a bigot as you are trying to talk about the suicide of your daughter to a crowd when the mother who's doing so is very reclusive and very private, but wanted to speak up for her child. Nobody had the nerve or the audacity to be compassionate to her. And this young man called her a bigot for speaking up about her daughter, something that she had skin in the game for. But one person who did speak up for her, Elvira Said, is our guest, Joan Coe, who's on the line now. Hello, ma'am. How are you?
I am fine, thank you, and I appreciate what you're doing because Simsbury needs to be told. Simsbury is a wonderful place. I've lived here for 60 years, and my 4 children grew up here. But somebody has to be able to speak their mind and observe what is going on and give their point of view. This is what I've been doing for years. I look and see what's going on. I do my homework. I check. And there are areas of the government that is not serving the people, nor do they care to serve the people. We have a first selectman Wendy Stusis, which I can't pronounce, believes in censorship. She believes she's a control freak. She gets unhinged, and she can't speak extemporaneously. She has to have everything under control, including her stopwatch, which she spends more time looking at than anything else.
Do you, Joan, I'm sorry to cut you off because I know you're prepared for this, but, you know, that was your contention in all of this, was that she could not, especially if you're listening to the person giving the speech as Elvira was doing, and if you've seen any of the speeches, or at least the commentary that she's given on this subject, knowing that what she's talking about, she's continuously grieving about. Her daughter's been dead a year. What she's experiencing is an honest breakdown and pain of a mother's anguish. And as you just described, it's like while she spoke, more people were concerned about the time consumption than it was about what she had to say. And that's where you took issue.
Well, Elvira is a grieving mother. Her child committed suicide, and that was a horrible situation. She had the ability, the caring, to share her grief with the community, as if to say, I didn't get any help.
Yeah.
My child didn't get any help. The community has failed me, failed my daughter, failed all of us, because this should not have happened. And she wants to give people who have trans children or any other person who has a child with suicide, to tell them that we have to get more people involved. We have to get some people who will at least help these people. And you need help. You need people to go to. You need support services. There should have been a whole bunch of people, services, professionals, helping this woman, so we didn't come to this end. This was a dead end because nothing was done.
And the worst...
Wendy did nothing. She's what?
No, I was just going to say that a good point about what you're making here, and why I read Tucker Saul's comments, why that's important, is when this woman, who, again, an immigrant to this country, has a daughter who is, again, struggling with her own identity, has a pastor or a reverend, whatever he was, called DCF on her, and she is, in essence, left stranded. No one comes to her aid. The only time anyone even recognizes what she's gone through is after her daughter is long gone dead. It took Project Veritas out of state to bring local attention to it, and even then, no one came to her aid. No one even thought to grieve with her or to even show her some compassion. So when she comes out and she decides to do the brave thing of bringing attention to trans kids that are clearly in Simsbury, suicidal ideation that obviously is permeating within our young people, she brings that to attention, and again, she gets shunned, which doesn't make any sense.
Well, you're absolutely right. And the problem is that we have to reach out to these people, and maybe people in the community will try to reach out and try to discuss it. See, parents who have children who are trans or have any other issues are afraid to talk out because they're afraid they'll be stigmatized. They are not the ones that are stigmatized. It's the whole system that's stigmatized.
Yeah.
They have built, the system has failed. And what we have to do is build a system that will help these people, that will help everybody, so other people don't go and end up with a child that decides to commit suicide as the only outlet that this person can do.
Right.
And that is a sad commentary on our community and the people who are here.
Yeah, that's the
need help.
That's the part that really bothered me about Tucker Sauls in this regard. It's like, look, even if you disagreed with Elvira's point of view, one, she's someone who's experienced it. She's obviously bitter. Why wouldn't she be? She feels as though that community killed her daughter. Whether or not she's righteous in thinking so, she does. if anybody had lost a child, whatever, you at least give them a degree of grace as to who they think is responsible for the death of their child. You kind of give some latitude to that individual. Not that they're right or they're wrong, but you give some latitude. The one thing you don't do is strike out on them while they're grieving and they come out there and they're in a very vulnerable place. And to a person who is, in essence, saying in his own bio, he's a sensitive, caring, and loving individual, showed none of it there. But I want to, Joan, if I can focus on you for a little bit. From what I gather, you have been active in your community for quite some time. Give me a little bit of background on you. I understand that you used to be a select person as well. Do I have that right or wrong?
No, I was a school teacher.
Oh, you were a school teacher. Okay. Is that it?
And
really?
Then, not in this community. I was in New York City at the time. And then I had my children. Then I just was teaching tennis, teaching platform tennis.
Wow.
To the community. And I also did substitute teaching in the community.
Okay.
And in raising my children, I was also as a assistant coach for my son's soccer team. I participated in this as a tennis teacher and somebody who has the ability to teach other people. I decided to go to Favor and get get the children who were disabled.
Mm-hmm.
I gave them a program that they could participate in. I taught these children how to play tennis.
Oh.
Because I felt that everybody should be inclusive. And this is what we need in a community. We need people to be inclusive, not to shove them away.
Yeah.
And Soul is the attack dog for Wendy because he feels that she is having all of this bad press and she won't get reelected. And he is going to an extreme in order to attack everybody in order to bring some light on Wendy. And it's not working.
Well,
Wendy is probably not going to get reelected, and because of her inability to perform her duties in an appropriate manner. And when you're head of the Democratic Party, you have to go and attack anybody who is not going to give good reports on your candidate.
Well,
and that's what this is all about.
Well, Joan, I think that, listen, everything you did got the attention of everyone. You are clearly, I can understand now with your background why you were so darn active today. You understand the idea of slowing down is not an option. So I love every bit of that. The fact that you're so active. Joe in Simsbury called a little while ago and said that he saw you not too long ago driving in your convertible. Just to show how active and just how energetic you are. We love you. Everybody who sent me text messages and emails celebrates your existence.
And I also play tennis and pickleball.
They told me that as well. They all celebrate you. They all love you. They couldn't wait to get you here on the program. I'm glad you're here, and we'll be talking, okay?
I thank you very much, and I hope we made it enlightened public.
Well, don't worry.
Maybe something good will come out of this horrible situation that they have created.
I'm telling you, Joan, not only we're going to get together, but you're going to teach me how to play pickleball because my wife's been dying to get me out there.
I will teach you whatever you want. I'm a born teacher.
Thank you, Joan. My pleasure. Have a good one, okay?
Take care.
You got it.
Yeah.
Joan Coe, everybody. And I'm giving her a round of applause. I want to be that active at 88. She's a fantastic woman. I didn't even meet her, but everyone can't stop talking about her, can't stop raving about her. And she's an unsung hero in the sense of everybody knowing about her. I know the people who do, but I wanted to make sure that she got her props. I was saying before the break, before we brought Joan on, that I wanted to make this sort of a proclamation, if you will, on the show. You guys are the story, whether you believe it or not. And someone asked me, I think it was Matty O, who asked me if I ever got syndicated, would I ever leave and go to some big city? And I said this before, and I'll say it again. I'll never leave Connecticut. Once I get there, literally, wild horses couldn't drag me away. I'm apprehensive as all get out starting my life there, but it's where my career began, and I really wanted to be there. But if there's anything that I recognized about this show thus far in the 3 years that I have been here, is that as much as it is my show to host, you guys are the story. So people like Joan, people like Wendy, who have been on this program, just average, everyday people who have come on this show and been a guest on this show to talk about the problems and talking about the issues going on with their elected officials. I can have those folks on all day, every day. But the most important part of all of this is you. So it's not about making you a celebrity or making you a household name. It's letting you know that you have a platform. And if it's important enough for this show, it's important enough for everybody else to know. So you guys, I appreciate. I get stories all the time. I get a lot of people running for office who contact me all the time. But you guys, you're the life's blood of what we do here on Reese on the Radio on WTIC. So that I'll always be appreciative of, and I owe it to you that you are not ignored. Sometimes this thing or this medium can almost feel like it's really, really far away. This show is about you. Because as much as I can talk about the stuff that's happening on the national stage, what does it matter if somebody's not bringing attention to the stuff that makes your life either difficult or easy? So that's what we're trying to do. That's what Joan being here is about. That's what Wendy's being here about. Mark in West Hartford. Simsbury Joe. You ever notice why I give everybody nicknames? Because it's bigger than me. It's bigger than a lot of us. We all play a role. So I just wanted to get that out there, and I want to thank Joan again. I want to thank you guys for making that happen. Mark C., Robert also got in touch with me so I can get Joan on the program. You guys, good stuff, good work, and I appreciate you. And we'll get to the bottom of this, and we'll get these folks to recognize you, whether they like it or not. Whether they like it or not. They have to understand that they work for you. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Marky.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
And again, we want to thank Joan Coe for being a part of the program. Don't forget, you can always go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. You could go there and check out everything from the show. You can even watch live during the show, 2 to 6. You can actually view the show and see my beautiful voice on the air as we do the program. And there's also video content. So usually when you hear audio on the show, there's a video to accompany that. So if you ever want to watch the show, you're sitting there at your desk, and your boss is really all not all that on your back about watching, a radio show at your cubicle. You can do that by going to reeseontheradio.com. Also, we've got Substack. Every week, a new article comes out on Sunday. You can get that article if you just subscribe. It goes directly to your email, or you can just go to Reese on the Radio every Sunday morning at roughly about 7 to 8 o'clock in the morning. I try to get it out exactly at 7. I don't think I've only lost one time. I missed that 7 o'clock deadline, but I usually try to get it there. This week's article is Chris, what's his name? About Chris Murphy and his dwindling poll numbers, but yet his astonishing revenue intake, as well as television and magazine appearances. We'll talk about that a little bit. And this, by the way, for some odd reason, I posted on X too. If you want to follow the show on X, which I have to say, I'm going to take a second to say this. I never really posted on X because I never really knew how to use that social media. And I have to say thank you so much for people who have been responding there. So I post the article at the Substacks, but then I posted it on X because apparently there's an article feature. Well, this Chris Murphy article, talk about taking off. That article has had over 1,500 views now. I'm like, really? So I appreciate you checking it out. Makes me feel good. I'm going to keep writing. You want it, you'll get it. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Talk about getting it. Let's get on the roads with Mark Christopher's in the BPS Traffic Center. How are we doing out there, sir?
The NAACP calls him, whoa, I don't think I'm allowed to read this.
It's Reese on the radio.
Let's just say some people are not fans.
On News Talk 1080.
WTIC.
And keeping with that tradition, it's time to talk about the NAACP. So on the 16th of October, the NAACP of Greater New Haven wrote this letter for immediate release, press release, so to speak. Offensive and harmful Halloween display on Whitney Avenue in Hamden, Connecticut. The Greater New Haven branch of the NAACP received numerous calls and messages from concerned residents regarding an offensive Halloween display in front of a home on Whitney Avenue in Hamden. The display features multiple nooses hanging in from the front lawn, accompanied by corpses and corpses suspended from them. We want to be unequivocal. This display is deeply offensive, racially insensitive, harmful to our community, and extremely triggering. The image of a noose carries a horrific and painful legacy in this country. It is tied directly to the lynching of black men, women, and children. Such displays are not simply Halloween decorations. They are symbols of racial terror that evoke centuries of violence and oppression. It is a reminder of a deep, dark, painful, and ugly past. While we understand the importance of free expression, freedom of expression does not absolve individuals of responsibility for the harm and pain their actions cause. The display on Whitney Avenue has caused real pain, fear, and outrage amongst community members. Racism and racial trauma harm not only black people, but the moral and social fabric of our entire community. So what? I don't care that the NAACP is offended. They can't say anything about images. They can't. Keep the nooses up. You heard me. Keep the nooses up. Did you display them to scare black people in the community? No. It's a huge sign in the front that says asylum for the criminally insane. Unless now that's associated with black folks, I doubt it. If you capitulate, I got nothing for you, but I wouldn't. As long as we know that imagery means nothing, right? Intent means nothing. I think that everybody should just be allowed. Look, the imagery is the imagery. It's a Halloween decoration. That's all. It's supposed to be an insane asylum. That's all. It's supposed to scare kiddies when they go there. This is a celebrated place, a celebrated home where kids have gone and people have been, pardon the pun, dying to go for Halloween so they can have fun with the kiddies. Maybe get some candy, go through a haunted house. Boo, spooky. And somebody is injecting race into it. Now suggesting that it's their intention to make it racial. It isn't. This is being put upon. But remember, we're not supposed to be pearl clutching. Remember, we're not supposed to clutch our pearls, right? We can't take a joke. Don't give me this nonsense about, it's insensitive. It evokes. What are we supposed to think? What are we supposed to think? That because it invokes something racial in you that it's supposed to be for the rest of us? You didn't seem to care when we said, stop wishing the death on our president. We should accept it as a joke. I'm telling you, all bets are off, folks. All bets are off. I wish to live by the standards that you set. And remember, I went there. I was at your rally. You are morally sound. We, heathens, all of us. You're the ones that say that we have to adhere. You are the ones who set the goalpost and we have to follow around while you move it. Well, if we have got to follow your template, that's what we're going to do. Keep the nooses up. It's just Halloween. Black people weren't the only people who were hung. Pirates were hung all the time. Throughout the world. They're used everywhere, throughout history. Why does just one group of people get to carve out noosing for just them? Why not? Whatever happened to equal opportunities? Huh? Everybody took a part. Oh, am I being insensitive? Well, I'm just joking. Can't you take a joke? Can it be funny? Can I be ha-ha, yar-yar? What happened? Why is it more important for you to get what you want? Why do you get to tell these folks here how they can display their Halloween decoration? What's wrong with their expression? Where was the NAACP when it came to people expressing themselves in the library? With Drag Queen Story Hour. When people said they didn't want that because they thought that was triggering to their children. That they shouldn't see a grown man with half of his breasts out. Where was the NAACP on that one? I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear a word. What the NAACP finds important is laughable. Case in point, same day, October 16th, NAACP of Greater New Haven. The Greater New Haven NAACP joins the local and national outcry against federal immigration raids that sow fear and distrust in our communities. These operations not only violate civil rights, but also tear apart families and undermine public safety. Earlier this week, ICE agents conducted a raid at the Optimo Car Wash in Hamden, detaining 8 individuals. The action caused chaos in the neighborhood, left children uncertain if their loved ones would return home, and spread fear throughout the immigrant and black communities alike. The black community was affected by ICE. Who in the world in the black community was going, ICE is in the neighborhood. I better get in the house. Who was thinking that? We call on local, state, and federal leaders to demand accountability and transparency from ICE, ensure due process for all those detained, and strengthen protections such as Connecticut's Trust Act to prevent further collaboration with federal immigration enforcement. Now, here's the NAACP telling people to resist the federal government. The Greater New Haven NAACP stands in unwavering solidarity with the people of Hamden and the communities across our state. We will not be silenced or intimidated. Oh. Well, neither should the Halloween display. They should not be silenced or intimidated either, since we're going there. Perhaps you not infringe on their freedom of expression, their First Amendment right. I think the kiddies would like the noose. I think the kiddies would like to be scared by the spookiness of it all. And I bet you not one kid who walks through there will be thinking about slavery when they do. Not one. They'll be thinking about whether or not the house has the big Snickers or the bite size. That's what I believe. That's just me. That's just me. By the way, you better have the big ones there. You better have the big ones there. Kids will annihilate you if they trick or treat there and you've got the bite size. I know, I understand it's cost effective, but I'm not, again, I don't care. I don't care. Remember, I'm done with the sensitive stuff. Aren't you? They told us we're being too sensitive. Cholesterol, do your job. 8647. Nooses. What's the difference? What's the difference? we were told that in no way did Dr. Anwar intended to wish death on the President of the United States. Well, good. We'd like to follow that same template over there in Hamden. They did not intend to suggest anything about slavery. They were just trying to have a little Halloween fun. That's just me. Let's go to Jill in Willington. Hello, Jill. How are you? Oh, is that Jim? I'm sorry, Jim. What's going on, Jim?
I don't know. It could be Jill. You never know.
I doubt it. What's up, buddy?
You shouldn't assume. Hey, listen, I'll tell you, all this craziness with illegal immigration, ICE, I haven't heard one Democratic politician, not one, when they get on the air, especially Chris Murphy, when they get on the air and start talking about how Trump is this or Trump is that, not one of them has said that they disagree with Trump and we want to change the law and we need to do it through the legislation in Congress.
That's right.
Nobody wants to recognize the fact that it's a law everybody's breaking. And, oh, by the way, here's the solution. Here's how we can fix it.
Exactly.
And, and I'll tell you, there's plenty of ways you can straighten this situation out. It would take you 10 or 15 years, but you could certainly straighten it all out. Very easy. It wouldn't be difficult at all.
How about one step further, Jim? How about drafting legislation at least to present to the American people that says, you know what? Here's our plan to keep the illegals in the country here, and then proposing that.
And then it gets fouled up to a theme I've been mentioning on your show off and on. What Democrat out there has the political spine to stand up and do that?
Right.
Which one has the spine to do that and then say, I don't agree with what's going on in the street? I'm not gonna call for the verbiage that says we should assassinate Trump because he's associated, quote unquote, to Hitler. Where are they?
Yeah, that's interesting.
I don't know where they are. And then the last thing I'll say is this: Chris Murphy strikes again. You've heard me say it many times on your show.
Yeah,
he's a third-rate politician in a party that will let him say whatever he wants.
Oh, they'll let him listen to me. They'll let him coast forever. Yes, they will let him be an MSNBC star. They will let him coast at 1% for the rest of his career. Thank you, boss.
I don't even think you realize it. He's not the only one, but he's the one.
Oh,
from
yeah.
Connecticut, so that's the one.
He's there today. He's the soup du jour right now. That's all he is. There'll be somebody else in due course. Thank you, sir. There's an interesting part. Someone is sending me this story, and I want to make sure that I address it before we go to break, and then we'll take some phone calls in the next hour. So stand by if you want to be on. There is I guess a digital creator on Facebook. His name is Jason Hayes, and he's got quite the following. Some 5,000 folks are following him, and I was looking at the picture that he has on his profile. The interesting thing is that people are really taking notice of this post that he did with the word MAGA, with the red, white, and blue swastika that's supposed to represent the G, or in between the word MAGA is a big giant sort of American flag-like swastika in there. And in it, he writes, the Confederacy defeated in 1865, Nazism defeated in 1945, MAGAism defeat in progress. But people are saying that he didn't, it was not in any way, and he's the first selectman, and not in any way supposed to be anti-Semitic. It's just me pointing out MAGA and MAGA this. But here's the interesting part. His profile picture shows him cheek to cheek with Jennifer Hudson, the singer, movie star, and from American Idol fame. But Jason, let me help you with something. If you know your history, the person that you're cheek to cheek with in your profile picture, Jennifer Hudson, why don't you give her a call and ask her where her family lived rent-free for 6 months after her family members were brutally murdered in Chicago? Why don't you ask her that? Because when I saw that, I didn't see anyone notice that. I saw the picture, and I'm like, who's that black woman? Is he married to a black woman? No, that's interesting. Let me see who the picture is. And I saw it, and I went, wait a minute, that's Jennifer Hudson. I recognize that face anywhere. And while he's sitting up here calling MAGA folks and Donald Trump Hitler, Well, he has a picture of a woman who stayed in Donald Trump's Trump International hotels rent-free for 6 months after the senseless murder of her family members. Donald Trump provided that. First person to come to her aid. No Diddy, no Jay-Z, no Blackosphere. Nobody. Donald Trump did. I would just take that picture down. Spare yourself the embarrassment. Because you had to have known that, right? You had to know. Because all I needed to do was see the picture, and I knew what, right off the bat. But then again, I've got quite the recall. I've often been praised for that. I just have this memory. Oh, it's weird. But it's interesting that you didn't know that. That you would be boasting, look, I know a celebrity. It just happens to be that celebrity got the help of the very Nazi that you were trying to ridicule and malign. Kind of interesting. Get it together, folks. Get it together. You look silly out here. You look silly. Let's hope the roads don't look silly. Let's get to Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. I know some traffic out there, Marky.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
And of course, I failed to get Hollywood news today. I didn't even bother. Someone's supposed to be giving me a call in a little bit about oh goodness, Simsbury. So I'm waiting for that call that should show up really, really soon. But I want to talk about something that I've created, if I could, for a minute. And I've talked about this a little bit with Matty O, and I've talked with my wife. And it came sort of as a joke. So Ellis, the boy, we call him. So the boy says one day, and he's very clever and funny. I guess we were having a discussion, and I have these sort of things, these sayings that I have. And he called them Reeseisms. And he just said it, out of nowhere. He was just like, he's like, it's like a Reeseism. And I went, that's funny. So then he kept using the term Reeseist. Whenever I would say something somewhat controversial, he started calling me a Reeseist. So yesterday we were talking with Simsbury Joe about using grok. So I actually tried this, and it worked. I asked grok to come up with a definition for Reeseist, and it did. It says Reeseist pronunciation. It says a noun, a person who can talk about race intelligently without getting emotional. And it gives an entire etymology about Reeseism. And I was like, oh, you serious? They can actually do that? And it did. So I'm thinking about getting it on a shirt. It's actually pretty cool. It made it up itself. And it used Reeseisms in order to do it. I thought it was clever. I was like, damn, that's actually pretty smart. Anyway, so I'll share it one day. Let's get to weather and traffic. Mark Christopher is in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
So I just got a message from somebody who was calling in, Josiah, out of Simsbury. Josiah, I got your number. Thank you. And I had to hide it. I don't want anybody to see it in it, and you get all these other crazy crank calls. Not that my audience would do that. I just don't want anybody to have access to it. So I hid it in the screen, but I do have it. I'm going to be giving you a call later on about it. So a quiet investigation that I'm doing. For those of you who remember me, who have been here since I started at WTIC in my fill-in days, I have always talked about Connecticut opening up these pot stores, these cannabis brick and mortars in the state. And I am quietly doing this investigation because we were told in every article, from the Hartford Courant, the Connecticut Mirror, to the New Haven Register, all of them, that the most important thing about all of this was that they were trying to sort of, let's just say, they were doing restorative justice. They were going to go right after the African-American community and make sure that they had a hand in the cannabis business first and foremost before anyone else. Well, I did some background on this about 2 months ago, and I've waited to bring this story up. And Josiah is in this space. And when I tell you what I found out, God, it is a story that will embarrass the hell out of the people. Ned Lamont, too. Every person who screamed and hollered about why the African-American community was finally going to make up for, they were finally going to make up for all of the damage that was done in the war on drugs in the black community. Don't take my word for it. Go look it up. How many African-American cannabis stores have been open since 2020? Go find out the numbers. When I saw the numbers, I was like, what? Yeah. No effort. None. Out of all of them, no effort. The numbers are astonishing. So I want to talk to Josiah about that. It's a quiet little investigation that I'm doing, but I'm really going to get to the root of it when I get there. So stand by for that. Let me get to the phones. Let's go to Rich in Windsor Locks. Hello, Rich.
Hey, how you doing, Reese?
I'm pretty good, sir. What's up?
Hey, I just wanted to say, I can't believe that Simsbury is not inclusive. And I can't believe that. They claim that they are. And they've got all these, their parks, et cetera, their programs are all inclusive. And then here's somebody, like you said, earlier, pouring their heart out over, their child to suicide. I mean, don't they know? We're community. We should be trying to help each other, not shut somebody down. Oh, got to worry about how much time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, how much, it's scary part about this with this thing with Elvira is, right? It has all of the hallmarks of what liberalism has told us for 5 years now, is that if we do not affirm these children, they will take their own life. This woman tried to do that, and she only got more depressed and took her own life. And in knowing that she is a member of this community, and like I said, she ticks off all the boxes if you ask these folks. She's an immigrant woman with a transgender child. She might as well be Charlize Theron, for that matter. And they treated her like dirt and called her a bigot for it.
Yeah, that's we pay their salaries. These folks, they want to be in power, but when it comes to responsibility, they abdicate.
Yeah.
No, I can't do that. That's work.
Yeah, they should be ashamed of themselves. And look, I'm glad that Simsbury has stepped up, and there's so many people in the community who have stepped up. They've been reaching out to me all day and yesterday, and I'm telling you, the response is overwhelming. I really do believe that this show has more reach than I know, and it kind of makes me nervous. I'm like, wow, a lot of people listen to the show. So I really appreciate that.
We do.
Thank you, man.
We pay taxes and we vote.
That's right. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. You got it. Let's go to Tom in Thomaston. Hello, sir.
Hey, Reese, I say now loudly and proudly that I am definitely a Reese's.
Well, yeah, we're trying to get it we're trying to get the phrase coined, so we'll get it done.
There you go. I'll buy a T-shirt. Hey, I want to make a comment on that latest video that Project Veritas guy made. But
is this about you talking about James O'Keefe and the Native American NGO thing? Oh my goodness!
What a scam! Oh my God!
Yeah. By the way, Tom, before you go on, let me just tell everybody, let's direct everybody to the right place. So if you've got YouTube, go to YouTube and look up James O'Keefe and the investigation he released yesterday at about 1 o'clock. And what he broke down was that there is this organization called AFI, if I'm correct, Tom? Is that the name? Because my wife watched it.
Yeah.
So the organization is called AFI, and they work as the liaison with the government to get small NGOs or SBA, small business loan companies, small business, these loans or these grants to do particular work in and around their communities. And if you're Native American or black or minority, you get those bids first. In fact, there are no bid contracts. But this AFI organization is the go-between. They're the liaison. So they get the government to give them the billions of dollars. And here's what they do that makes this stuff so crazy, folks. So the AFI organization takes over 60% of the money. They give the balance of that to the actual organization that's trying to get the money. And then they make that organization do about 80% of the work while this AFI just collects all the money. So in essence, it's sort of like a finder's fee. That's, oh God, and Rozan, go to the microphone so you can, because Rozan watched the first part of it yesterday, and I wanted her to do research on it so we could get to after Wednesday. Go ahead, Rozan.
Yeah, I think the one key part that's really essential, well, it's two parts. One is that the bidding organization is required to give 51% ownership to this, I think it's API.
API, okay.
I think so, I can't remember. Anyway, they're forced to give up 51% ownership. They collect about 35% of the overall earnings. The main industry, the main company, the ones pretending to be Native American, keeps 65% of it. They're and then here's where it gets even crazier, is that the owner of the organization, because once you've reached a certain dollar value in earnings,
right,
you are no longer
eligible
under the SBA. So what he does is he just starts a new business.
So he can then get again.
Yeah.
That's what drove me nuts. Was when I heard that. Once he hits his $400 million, he just starts a new name of the company.
Yeah.
And the Native Americans, who are supposed to be the stewards of all the land, they're in on a scam because they just use their name to make it a minority-owned company.
So they're sort of in on this scam, but they are not really getting anything out of it.
Right, they're doing most of the work and only getting a portion of the money.
Not only are they getting they're doing most of the work, but it's only their name being used. They're getting no other benefit.
Wow.
So where this company may be getting a $35 million grant or a $35 million contract from the federal government, 65% of that goes to these three white people.
Right.
The remainder, the 35%, is given to the organization that's actually doing the work, allegedly.
Right.
They have to sell 51% of that alleged business.
Wow.
And then if the contracting work is done by the Native people, they get paid an hourly rate. So they're not even getting paid. So they're in on it is a little, like it's a quasi fact.
Yeah.
Because they're doing the work, but they're not reaping any benefit from it.
Right. Go ahead. What were you saying, Tom?
I think in the number two part, I think it will. They get the Native Americans do own 51%.
Right.
So
the three owners of the company, it's two white men and a white woman. They're using the name as an umbrella corporation. The Native organization, they're not even involved. All they did was use our name.
Oh.
Yeah, well, I know that, but it's a corporation, so that they do own 51%. Now, when the books are done at the end of the year, there might not be any profit.
Right.
But they are legally entitled to 51% of any profit.
The entity itself, but not the Native.
They are getting the Native American tribe. I never heard of them. They're getting paid.
It's not a real nation.
Oh, wait a minute, hold on.
That's why it's not a real nation.
It isn't a real nation?
No.
People need to go to jail.
Yeah, no kidding.
And that's what I'm saying. This isn't an actual Native nation. This is like a small corporation that's using the name of, it's something like Sweet River something.
Let me ask you this, and because if you watched it, I haven't had a chance to see it yet, but I saw like the first half hour of it. If I'm getting this right, is it because they claim that they're Native American that nobody second guesses it? They just go, oh, there's a Native American company,
right.
So
when it comes to do government contract bids, right? Excuse me, having lived in the greater DC area, working, knowing people are contractors and the such, you have to bid for everything with the government.
Usually.
And the person who, you remember the whole NASA move,
Yeah,
right?
I had to bid for that.
So you bid for that. The guy with the best bid, which includes, all the contingencies and benefits, that's the guy that wins. Now, if you claim to be Native American, that is like the peak, pinnacle, tippy top of people who are, Native Americans are the most underrepresented in this country. It's not black folks, it's Native Americans. They are the poorest. They live in the largest rates of poverty. It's not black folks.
Yeah.
So when they are given an opportunity to start a business or bid for a government contract, the government is saying, holy crap, we found one, it's a unicorn, give it to him.
Right. Okay. So that's in essence, they're using that because the government will more than likely give it to. That's why it's no bid.
So the organization went to this Native organization. It's not a nation. It's not a reservation. It is just an entity. Think like
Shell,
Indian Affairs Bureau, or like My Native Nation. You saw the little building they have on Cesar Chavez here in San Antonio. It's not the actual nation. It's a small entity that some of those people belong to this nation. These three folks came over and said, hey, we want to use your entity in your name. And they were like, all right, sure, go ahead.
Wow.
So the 51% owners are not Native American. The 51% owners who reap the 51% ownership of whatever company bids the contract are these three white folks.
Okay. Tom?
Respectfully, Rozan, I think you're wrong. The Native Americans have to have majority ownership. They have to be the 51 in order to qualify as a minority company to get the no pay.
Yeah, no. I think that's what. Yeah, I think you're in agreement there, Tom. What she's saying is that the organization that is calling itself Native American is technically just only it's in name only, so to speak. So that's the 51%. You're right, as is she, in the sense of it's not a real, like they're not really Native. They're just an organization who calls themselves Native. That's the 51% that you guys are sort of at odds with. So
they're all fraud.
Yeah. According to this, it appears to be. But I'm waiting for the episode that comes out tomorrow so we can sort of get the wrap up, because apparently James O'Keefe is going to confront all of the people with the videos that he's so far recorded.
Yeah, he confronted the one woman that he got all the information from.
Mm-hmm.
He takes off his wig and his glasses, and she's like, no videos,
Turn that off. Turn that off. I don't want to be on camera. And then apparently everything that she said to them undercover the day before was allegedly or her opinion.
Yeah. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate you, man. Thanks, Rozan. I appreciate it. You got it. Yeah, I think you turned off like 4 different people because of this conversation. There's like 4 people on hold. They're like, I ain't waiting on the line. You can call back now, I promise. I'll get to your calls. That was just a really explosive story. But like I said, if you want to, James O'Keefe on YouTube, you can watch it there. Again, you've got to see the what do you call it? The disguise that he puts on. You're going to be asking yourself, how in the hell did they not know he was wearing a wig? It is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Anyway, we'll get to, what did I forget? I know there was somebody that I forgot to get into today. I did that. I don't know. Anyway, we'll find out. Let's get to another check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher is in the BPS Traffic Center getting you home. Hey, Mark.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
That's right. Make sure you go to WTIC.com, download the Odyssey app so that you never miss an opening monologue by Reese on the radio, because the show starts at 2 o'clock, and I know a lot of you miss it. You can always do that. Plus, the best part about it is that you guys love going back to go check it out, because I know I've seen it. I've seen you go back and listen to it, and we appreciate it. Make sure you do that, or go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. Don't forget to go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com for this show and a lot more, so you can find out a whole bunch of stuff. A lot of people now, all I had to do was mention pickleball, and now people are sending me invites to go play pickleball. I will play with every one of you. I promise. I need to get out there and start playing pickleball. My wife is getting on my nerves. Every time we go into like a Dick's Sporting Goods and she sees a pickleball racket, we should get some. I was like, not now. Not now. Wait till we get to Connecticut. We'll pick up one. She's already screaming at me. She wants to get them. She wants to try everything. She's so excited to be up there. Can I tell you a little secret? I'll tell you a little secret. She says, I hope no one thinks I'm throwing her under the bus. But I thought it was sweet. Rozan, when we got together, was absolutely reclusive. Right? She was a recluse. She stayed around her own family, her own friends. She didn't have a lot of people around her. I actually got her sort of to be more outgoing. And God bless her. I remember we would go to meetings and she didn't know anybody there. And I would literally walk her over to a group of women and it was like, hi, this is my wife, Rozan. Talk to her. And she would be so embarrassed. But I would almost feel like the parent trying to introduce her to like the new kids. Hi, this is my wife, Rozan. Be her friend. So she said to me the other day when, I think it was maybe last week, she goes, do you think that I'll have friends in Connecticut? I'm like, sweetheart, they're going to love you. They already do. You're going to have plenty of friends. Are you kidding me? They're going to be vying all day to come and hang out with you. They already enjoy you. They can't wait to meet you and pal around with you. You're going to make plenty of friends. And I really am enthusiastic about her making some friends so that I could get a break. No, I'm kidding. She hears that I'm going to be in so much trouble. I don't mean that at all. I don't mean that at all. But she's really, really excited to get out there. And her big thing now is like she wants to go shopping for winter clothes. That's a big deal. A really, really big deal. So if you have some ideas, ladies of a certain age, on where she should shop, that would be, a great place for her to get some nice winter clothes. Hit me up. Let me know. She is dying to find out. She's like, where did a lady shop in Connecticut? I'm like, I don't know. How would I know? By the way, you must avoid, what are the places where you don't want to shop? Was it Forever 21? And what's the other one? What's the name of that other place? The one for older women. I can't remember the name of it. I don't know why. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher is in a BPS traffic center. Do you know the name of that clothing place that the older women shop at? I hate saying it, but do you know that, Mark?
Oh.
It's something.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Mine too. It's not Forever 21 because I almost feel like that's just regular. There's another one that's sort of like, I want to say chic or something. Somebody's going to know what it is. John Beckman says Amazon is the easiest and the fastest. I guess it would be. There's some ladies' clothes. There's another one that she likes. It's called White House Black Market.
Yep.
That's a place that she really
There's
loves.
one, I think there's one in Somerset Square in Glastonbury. I think I've
Really?
seen that there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that place is nice, but it's expensive.
Gosh. Is it really?
Oh, my goodness. Even the clearance is expensive. I look at the clearance aisle. I'm
Wow.
like, I'm not paying for that. That's a $700 jacket.
Is it Talbot's?
No, Talbot's is one, too. That's
Is that
funny.
for older women?
That's
or
for,
is
I
that-
believe it's for older women. I
Okay,
just
I
can't
don't
think of
know,
what the other name was. I got to look it up.
All right.
Thank you, man.
I don't know. I don't do a lot of clothes shopping myself, so.
Yeah, there you go. We're in the same boat, my
A
friend.
couple of T-shirts and a pair of jeans.
That's
every year.
it.
That's about
2
it.
stores.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, South.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is. You know who it is. You know who it is. It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, we're almost out of here, and we'll take some last but not least phone calls before we get out of here. So, of course, all you have to do is mention clothing, Rozan, and everybody has chimed in. I couldn't remember the clothing store you were looking because you're in the back of the house.
Chico's and
Chico's.
Taylor Loft. Anybody who's seen This Is 40 knows.
Slow down. I'd slow
Okay.
down. You got to go through all of these.
Sorry.
I want to go through the list of what people have been saying in the chat room because I couldn't find out which one it was. They were all, now everybody's chiming in. Even the guys are chiming in. So Doug is saying that LL Bean on Route 10 in Southington. He's saying that's a place where you should go.
No.
That's
like camping outdoor stuff.
Okay.
I don't outside.
I don't know. Okay, Matty O says, just don't go to Five and Below or Five Below.
Ew.
I don't know. And Taylor, you don't like that
No.
place either. Okay.
It's very matronly.
Okay. Okay. Perhaps find a Burlington in Connecticut, Beckman says.
Beckman, you were on a word timeout.
The outlets in Clinton and Westbrook, you don't mind an
I
outlet
can get down
store.
with that, yeah.
You like an outlet store. Even though I think for men, outlet stores are like the stuff they won't sell at the regular stores.
Like jorts.
Yes, yes, exactly. Carmela said, are you thinking about Chico's or Coldwater Creek? Now, I know you don't like Chico's.
I don't do either of those, no.
Coldwater Creek? What did it? That's not
No, that's like an LL Bean and Taylor sort of mix.
Okay, so she says that's for mature women.
Yeah,
Is
yeah. I'm not there yet.
Okay, so when you hit about 50 or something? Okay, without the hatred. Okay, you don't have to look at me that way.
I will be 50 in 3 years.
Okay, all right. I'm saying when you're 50, not that you would be 50. How do you feel about LL Bean? Are you okay with LL Bean?
I mean, for like a jacket or
okay,
like gloves or something, boots.
Okay, and Talbot's is definitely a no.
No,
Right.
I used to work in a Talbot's.
Okay.
Like many, like 25 years ago.
What is wrong with these stores that I don't understand? Because I'll tell you, the thing that I hate is that there are no stores for men of a certain age. Like
Yes,
I've
there
got
are.
no, my repertoire.
Brooks Brothers.
No, first of all, that's a suit and a with a
Jimmy Buffett. Isn't there a store, the Jimmy Buffett?
First of all, I'm never ever wearing those things.
See, there's stuff for men of a certain
I'm just
age.
saying, but men of a certain age, the only thing we have, honestly, is not Brooks Brothers. First of all, that's for fancier stuff, or we're going to be on a boat. You can wear that stuff. But I think for men of a certain age, the only store we have, and I just had it at the tip of my tongue.
Oh, please tell me they have one of those spots, with like the Steve Harvey type suits that
I
are up
hate
there for
those
you.
things.
Oh,
I
come
will never
on.
wear those things.
So that's kind of how I feel about, some of these places. The stuff, it has to suit your personality,
Yeah,
right? You
exactly.
are not a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
Like bright pink with whales.
Tommy
type
Bahama.
of- that's the one I was trying to
That's the one you were thinking
Yeah,
of.
that's not, that will never be you.
Yeah,
that will
I know.
never, like if you ever get sick and end up in a hospital, I will just to torment you, dress you
Yeah.
in Tommy Bahama
Do you know
just for.
Do you know it's like there are some like sneaker companies. I don't want to offend anybody, but there are some sneaker companies that are made for men of a certain age.
Yeah, they
that I
got
will
like a
not-
sole like that thick
Yeah,
and they Velcro.
I
and
just
you slip right in.
I won't until that's necessary. Maybe when I'm 60, holler at me.
Well,
I will
not-
probably throw on those
Not
shoes.
if I have my way. You will work out and you will never get there. What else do we got?
Okay. But no, there are a lot of people who are just opining about some of the places to go. I just don't.
Francesca's used to be my favorite, but now they make clothes for little girls.
Yeah. LL Bean has sweaters and fleeces that are super warm. I kind of like that.
Yeah, so I'm a like, there's like function and form, and they're not often together. And I'm more of a fashion.
Yeah.
So I will freeze if I look cute.
Where is there a store? I mean, I don't know where guys go to shop. I know that I don't. I don't.
You order T-shirts online.
That's true.
I buy you jeans and I bring them home.
Like
to you.
the only thing, and you're right. I'll order T-shirts. Maybe we'll go to what's the T-shirt place that I love? Grunt Style. I'll buy Grunt Style T-shirts and I'll go to get Levi's. That's about it.
You don't get any of those. I buy them
Ugh.
and you gripe about it, and then you put them on and you are quiet.
A slip.
You buy hats.
I love hats. Lids is my favorite place to go.
Mhm.
I love Lids.
If they could just make, pants and shirts and shoes and socks and underwear, you would never leave Lids.
They are. I don't know. That's all it is. I'm just simple. I don't think that there are stores that are designed for men of a certain age. So that's why
There
I don't
are.
really.
You're just entirely too stubborn.
I just don't know if
You're stubborn.
I like a good pair of shoes. Somebody said Kohl's. Kohl's is okay. I don't have anything against them. They're all right.
Kohl's is like Sears.
And Roebuck?
No, yeah, it's like Sears, like their younger sister, like the just graduated high school, not quite like peaked in high school, like
Yeah.
that's Kohl's.
Okay.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it, honestly. I don't want to.
But you want to go to you like what do you call it?
Boutiques.
Privately owned boutiques.
I really do prefer boutiques.
Yeah.
I do.
And
Yeah.
so there's a lot of places in Manchester that just have these strip, like just very
Like
old
Occoquan
town,
or
very old
Fredericksburg.
town Manchester. Some of our favorite places that we go look exactly like it.
Perfect.
Very Victorian and old style. They've still got the what do you call it? Like the old clock at the
You doing all right there, sir?
whatever it's called.
Words are hard.
Oh, they're hard today. Anyway, all right. I just wanted to find out exactly what the name of the place is that you would not go. Do you have a suit and a tie? Do I have a suit and a tie? Reese? Yes, I do have
One.
a suit and a tie. I have one.
That he wore the day we got married.
Yes.
Listen, if I had it my way, you would definitely have like your work, like this is what you wear to work, and
Yeah.
you're not at work clothes. Like I would totally have you dressing different.
Yeah, when you go out, you always look fancy, and me, I just look like
I
your
don't
chauffeur.
look fancy. I look like I care about myself.
And I look like your chauffeur.
You
Or
you
the
look like-
bouncer.
you look like my bodyguard.
Yeah, I do
You
look like your bodyguard.
You look like the guy that I hand my bags to. Here, take these to the car.
Let me get these calls out of the way. I love you.
I love you too.
All right. Let me go here. Brad's in the car. Hello, Brad.
Hey, Reese. Yeah, I think I didn't hear the name, but maybe Limited is one that I don't know if she likes to shop there or not, but that's one I thought maybe is for older women.
The Limited. What do you think of that place?
That's more of like a business. Like you go there to buy. Like a woman will go there to buy her clothes for work. Like
Really?
in her office. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know anything about that. Brad, okay. Thank you, Brad. I appreciate you, sir.
And
Yes.
And Reese, for guys, back in the 90s, I used to shop at a place called Jeans West. I don't know if they're still around. But
I
got
don't know if
so
they
many
are,
clothes.
but I'm familiar with
What
them.
about Structure? Does anybody remember Structure?
I remember all of those.
Yep.
I remember all of those, but
Good
I'm too
choice,
old
good
for
choice.
that place. That's like me wearing something from H&M.
Well, now it's Express Men.
Oh, that's just awful. Oh my God. The Express Men should be like Swahili for effeminate male. That's what that's what I believe it is.
I don't get it.
Thank you, Brad. I appreciate you, man. Let's go to Rob in Simsbury. Hello, sir.
Hey, buddy, long time. Hey, REI is a great shop to grab seasonal apparel.
Now, that's if I'm correct,
Camping.
that's the camping place,
Yeah.
but they've got great footwear.
They have a lot of really great
Footwear,
stuff.
Yeah, they got a lot of good activewear and
Rob,
you know, just like-
Rob, let me ask you a crazy question. Are you under 50 or above 50?
I'm under.
Under 50. Okay. Let me ask you this.
Yep.
Are cargo pants still cool?
No, they're not. No. And if you say yes, Rob, I'm coming for you next.
I love.
Well, you know, it is turning to be hunting season right now in Connecticut. So
I love cargo pants.
Listen, Reese's idea of hunting is going to the pantry to get his nuts or the fridge to find his grapes. That's
I love cargo pants. They're
Yeah.
always cool.
No.
They always look great. I look fantastic in cargo pants.
no, you don't.
yeah, get them some blaze orange hunting pants.
There you go. Some hunting pants where you can't
Did
see
you hear
the
what color he said?
what color?
Blaze orange.
Okay, maybe not, Rob. not wear
Let's
that
get
color.
you some waiters while we're at it.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll do a little fishing.
Oh, goodness gracious. You're not helping me right here.
Orvis. We'll go shopping at Orvis.
Oh, Orvis. Wow. I think I've been in that place once, and it scared me. Because there's it's not like, when I walked in there, I looked in there, I was just like, what am I even doing in here? It's really like.
Cabela's definitely has you covered on the cargo pants.
Yeah,
And,
definitely. Absolutely. My wife won't let me go in there anymore.
What store?
Orvis.
Oh.
Thank you,
What
buddy.
about
I
Cabela?
appreciate you.
You could do the 511.
No.
You know that store. Sure.
Oh, I never even heard of the 511.
They used to have one in Quantico. It's or in Potomac Mills. It's military law enforcement gear. So everything's like really.
Well, you know, they've got cargo pants.
They do, but they're not like cargo pants. They're like
I'm not looking for like the puffy
tactical
cargo
pants.
Yeah.
They're very sexy.
Bob's in Walcott. Hello, sir.
Hey, how's it going, Reese?
Pretty
and
good.
Rozan?
Howdy.
What's up, man?
Love you guys.
Thank you.
I just wanted to chime in on this thing with cargo pants. I think they're dead. It's dead.
Over 50 or under.
Who,
How old are you? Over 50 or under?
I'm over 50.
There we go.
51.
Grown man.
People stuff everything into the cargo pockets, and they're walking around with the cargo boxes bulging out all over the place.
It's a man purse on your legs.
Like they're cool. And as far as shoes go,
yes,
I was told because I was getting older, my ex-wife was telling me I should start getting New Balance, and I'm like, no, I see only old people wearing New Balance.
They're cool now. They're cool for younger men.
No, they're not.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
Mister on the radio.
I went to Skechers.
I
wear Skechers, and also there's this shoe line called Hike Footwear that I buy because I'm a minimalist, and it's like walking around barefoot.
Oh,
and they are so comfortable. You can feel every pebble on the road as you're walking.
Wow. Okay. I mean,
it just really grounds you.
The footwear.
Jeans,
no, I was just going to say the footwear thing is just different. Go ahead. You're saying the jeans. Go ahead.
True Classic.
Okay.
You buy it online, and you buy it based on the measurements of your body. You don't buy it off the rack.
Okay.
And those are the jeans that fit perfectly for me. I mean, I'm not the most attractive, sexiest guy in the world. I'll admit it. But the jeans fit really damn good.
All right.
True Classic. I'm on it.
Well, you've already. True Classic is a great company. Those are the ones that have the funny T-shirt commercials that you like. I'll show it to you. It's really, they're really, really good. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate you, man. Okay, all right. And last but not least, let's go to Stevie V in Waterbury. How we doing, sir?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
We're good. We're good.
Good. Hey, listen, check out West Hartford. They got a lot of nice boutiques out there.
Yes,
downtown West Hartford. It's kind of a cool place.
Without a doubt. And I was going to say that it's even fancier than the one in Manchester. But I like the Manchester place because I actually used to go there a lot.
You're so cute.
But it's a really it is
It's
with
so
the West Hartford location of that
Why
little.
don't you put your pinky up when you say fancy?
Goodness
You're
gracious.
so cute. Rather than fancy, just say nicer.
It's nice.
There you go.
It's nice. It's
nicer.
a noise.
Hey, Reese, can I make a quick political comment?
Real quick.
Okay. For all those people who went to the No Kings Day, a lot of them probably also said never Trump. And look where that got them.
Yeah, good point. It's a really, really good point. Thank you, boss man. I will talk to you soon.
Thank you.
You got it. So what do you think, Rozan? We got a couple of days. We'll be on the road
So excited.
in Connecticut. You are excited?
I am really excited. I'm caulking the toilet in your bathroom, cleaning the floors, about to close out that bathroom. We've got a few more rooms to clean up and close down. We've got our trailer. We're almost completely packed. I'm so excited to just get on the road. Plus, we get to drive through Northern Virginia, spend the night, see a couple of friends before we head up. And, yeah, I'm ready for a new start. I'm so excited. And I get to do it with you.
Yesterday, you were sad that we were leaving.
I'm going to miss my house.
Right.
I'm going to miss waking up and, the smell of coffee that you made for me. I'm going to miss walking out into the garage and at 4:00 in the morning, stifling heat. There's just little things I'm going to miss about, this is my first house I've ever owned.
Yeah. It's going to be a new beginning. It's going to be...
There'll be more houses.
Yeah, there will be. All right, guys, just a couple of days away. And Roland's favorite day, hump day, is tomorrow. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your mind. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning. So plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. She is Rozan on the radio. Say goodbye, Rozan.
Goodbye, Rozan.
Mark Christopher's getting you home. Have a good night and a pleasant tomorrow. Good night, Mark.
Reese and Rozan, have a great night. If you're heading into Hartford right now, you're on the southbound side of I-91. Look for delays.
All right.
Down at 32 and again 27 to 28. A little slow again.
You guys enjoy your evening.
Thank you. I'm going to try my best while we finish up this packing.
Yeah, it's raining out here right now, so.
Yeah.
84 eastbound slowing approaching 46.
It's hot. It's 98 degrees.
Oh, my God. It's 50 out. Get ready for it.
No.
Y'all coming to the snow and cold.
If you're
She's going to be wearing
westbound
4
84, look for slow
sweaters.
traffic.
Hey, layers make a difference because that wind cut through your clothes.
West Rock Tunnel, southbound on the Parkway.
Oh, so you already know.
Into the West Rock. And
All right,
95
Roland,
southbound
mañana.
Mañana, hump day.
Hump day.
43 in West Haven.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you, Michael A. Skechers are the best shoes now. Very comfortable, Beckman says.
Under Armour.
Under Armour.
We're an Under Armour
we
family.
swear by those. We swear by those. Matteo says, why don't you just ask Roland where to go? I'm pretty sure he's more stylish than anyone else on staff. He's a big T-shirt guy. He is. Beckman says, isn't there a decent... Sorry, I just lost it. Isn't there a decent men's clothing shop called 7-Eleven?
Remember that gas station that we saw, and you were like, "I'm going to start buying jeans from here," and I was like, "No, you're not. No, you're not."
I almost bought those jeans.
No,
there was like
no.
I just wanted to try them on.
No,
I wanted to try them on. Listen to me, gas station jeans. Who would have thought in the sticks? They were selling jeans in a grocery store.
It was a gas station.
Well,
Pierre.
whatever, a gas station. It doesn't matter. When have you ever said in your life, I bought these jeans from a gas station?
Never, because I don't wear gas station clothing.
Can you imagine that? Hey, where'd you get those jeans? Oh, it's a gas station.
Got them at a Buc-ee's. No, although Buc-ee's does not sell jeans.
Yeah, I would say, oh, I bought these in a gas station in Tuscaloosa. I'm going back. That would be great.
That would be grounds for divorce. I just want you to know.
Really? Really? Grounds for divorce for sneakers?
No, you said blue jeans.
Oh, I mean, for blue jeans. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I have to set a standard here.
Beckman, you cannot see me in a leisure suit again.
I'd like to see you in seersucker.
Well, that you would like. I know you would love to see me in that.
Actually, linen. I would think you would look so beautiful in linen.
I've done that before.
Not for me.
Yeah, okay. Well, I was 10. But anyway, long time. I love you guys. We'll see you mañana. Almost there.